Today, oh my what am I saying? It had deep themes, it had like deep plot lines. It just didn't deeply hit me. You know what I'm saying? What the did I just read? Hey guys, what's up and welcome back to the Roomies Digest. My name's Christine, and if you clicked on this video, you know that we are in for our September round of Battle of the Books. Now, Battle of the Books is a really fun concept that I have been doing this year, where essentially I ask a creator from BookTok, BookTube, and Bookstagram to recommend me a book in a specific genre or a specific theme that I give to them, just to keep the field pretty level. I read these 3 books throughout the month, and then I rate them via the Kapow method, which was created by Book Roast. All of that information is going to be down below if you want to start rating your books via that method. By the end of the month, the book with the highest score is officially the winner of that month and gets 1 point towards their platform. By the end of the year, the platform with the most points is the platform that has officially recommended me the best books of 2023. I'm always super excited to get into the start of these vlogs because I love to kind of guess what the recommendations are gonna be. And you would think that September would be, you know, sci-fi September, sapphic September. You know, if I planned ahead for this, I probably would have done one of those things, but I decided to go a completely different route. Well, not completely, actually. We're just gonna go with a spicy September. So I have asked a couple of creators to give me their spiciest recommendations, their smuttiest recommendations. And I don't think I'm ready. So the first contestant that we are going to introduce today is someone that I have been following on Instagram for a while. I feel like her videos are so funny, and she always has the best, spiciest recs. Like, I truly think that I'm gonna be blown out of the water. I have no idea. Like, this is the round where I have no idea what anyone is going to recommend me. So I don't even think I'm gonna guess because I am not well-versed in this category. You know, some could say this is kind of like my cozy fantasy genre, where like I read the stuff that people tell me to read, but I don't really know any like great recommendations. I'm not like a deep diver of this genre. So the person that I want to introduce to you guys is Molly from The Bibliophile Blonde. She's literally hilarious. Check out her reels. She's also on TikTok, but today we are going to be highlighting her on Instagram. I think Molly is really funny, and I'm hoping that we get a really crazy kooky rec from her. So let's go ahead and watch the video.
Okay, I'm so excited that I saw this on your TBR. I am stoked to recommend A River Enchanted. I read this, I got it as a book of the month, and the audiobook's actually also fantastic if you want to go that route. But I was completely blown away by how much I loved this book. There's magic, there's love stories, there's incredible Celtic mythology in it, a little bit of a Romeo-Juliet rivals kind of thing going on. I was obsessed, start to finish, utterly hooked. Amazing world, characters you are just going to absolutely love, and I jumped into the second one as soon as I could. So this is my recommendation. I hope you love it as much as I do.
Okay, now I will say, like I do in every video, that sometimes people do actually just pick things off of my owned TBR, because the whole point of this was actually to read down my owned TBR and try and get books that were in these genres for each recommendation. So I'm not sure if A River Enchanted is super spicy, but I have heard a lot of good things about this book, so I'm very excited to read it. And I don't know much about it other than what Molly has said, that there is some like really amazing lore and that it's like a similar star-crossed kind of like hate to love romance, something like that. So we'll get into it. We will get into it. But let's move on to our next creator. So our next creator today is going to be representing TikTok, and you might have seen her. I feel like she has just such funny, relatable videos. She is so much fun to watch and honestly has blown up on TikTok. Like, if you are not following her or watching her videos, I feel like you definitely should after this video. But that person is Kimmy from Kimmy's Books, and of course, y'all know Kimmy loves a good romance. Kimmy loves a good romance, and I'm not sure what she is gonna recommend me. I have no idea. Okay, so I just want to get into it. I'm so excited. Let's go ahead and watch the video.
Hey Christine, I read through the TBR list and I think that you should next read Funny Feelings by DeWitt.
I've been wanting to read this one for a while. I'm sensing a pattern here. Everyone is just going off my TBR and I don't have a lot of spicy recs. Okay, so we might just be going for another romance month. We'll see. I'm not sure. But funny feelings, I feel like Tara is such a nice person. Like, I have had the opportunity to talk to her before, and I feel like she's such a nice person and so great. And I have been wanting to and I've been wanting to read Funny Feelings for a while, so it'll be good to read this down on my TBR. I'm pleasantly surprised that you guys are actually picking books on my TBR. I feel like usually, you know, people just go off and pick whatever they want. So this is nice. I don't actually have to buy any books this month. Okay, let's go. The last and final creator is someone who I hope is gonna give me a spicy rec. Okay, they are gonna be representing YouTube. And I remember when I first kind of like came into contact with this person, I was like, wow, this person is wild. Like, the recommendations coming out of this channel are psychotic and crazy, but like so much fun. And like, you just want to read it to get into like the taboo romance of it and like the craziness of the romance. So I'm super excited to introduce you guys to McKay from McKay's Book Vlogs on YouTube. I think he has some of the literal craziest recs. So I am super excited to see what he is going to recommend me. Like, is it gonna be something, you know, kind of psycho horror, you know, revenge porn plot? Like, I have no idea. Let's see, let's find out. We won't know until we watch the video, so let's get into it.
All right, hey, Christine, hi. Okay, so thank you so much for reaching out to me to pick a spicy book for you this September. I'm so sorry this video took really long, but here we are. So I have a book for you. If you want spice, if you want to fucking like yourself in a good way, you need to read this book right now. It's got everything you want. It's got the spice. It's got the scandal. It's got the and why was this written? But like, girl. Okay, so the book I'm gonna be recommending is Push by Nyla K. It's got all the wholesome content.
I always like to use that wonderful porn.
I don't know if I should even tell you what this book is about because I want you to go in as fresh as humanly possible. But I will say this. So we follow this couple, okay, their parents, they had this daughter when they were very young. The daughter's coming over for Thanksgiving and she's bringing her boyfriend with her, okay? And the boyfriend shows up and the dad is like, this guy is such an asshole. I can't believe he's like sleeping with my daughter. There is no way my precious little girl is associating with this bad boy. Hell no. Thanksgiving dinner. Things get real messy, and she keeps it messy all throughout Christmas, so you know it's good, okay? So you need to read this book, you're gonna enjoy this book, and it's gonna just change your life.
Dick.
Oh my god, McKay. Okay, I'm so excited. I feel like actually I've heard you talk about this book before, so this will be really interesting to see if this is the book that I think it is. I'm gonna take your advice. I'm gonna go in blind. We won't know what's happening, but I feel like you've talked about this before and I feel like I remember. I remember what this plot is about and it's gonna be psycho chaotic. Okay, wow, okay, great. So we do have a spicy recommendation, which is great. It's not on my physical TBR, so I'm gonna try and find it. It's probably gonna be on Kindle. We'll see where it's located. But those are the books, guys. Those are the books. This is the intro. We're gonna get into some fun, I would say, romance, and also end it on a spicy little time. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to watch, and let's get into the video. Okay guys, so I am officially at the 50% of Funny Feelings. This book is so interesting because it's essentially following a female comedian, which, as we all know, female comedians are few and far between. So we're following our main character who is trying to basically like make it as a comedian, okay? And Farley has this really cool manager. His name's Mayor, and he has a daughter who is deaf. And by chance, of course, Farley can sign with her, like knows ASL, okay? So they've already got like that going for them, but also apparently, you know, Mayor is like an ex-comedian and he's like a really good manager to her. He always takes care of her. So they're like a really close, tight-knit group, okay? Setting the scene for you here so you guys understand. So essentially the premise of this book is Farley gets the opportunity to go on like a comedy tour with these other really famous like female comedians, and you know, while they're on the tour to like make the tour spicier, to make her more like desirable in the like view of PR. They are going to do a fake dating trope. Her and Mayor are going to like say that they're dating, okay? Because he's like an ex, yes, this is Sherman's tale. Because he is an ex-comedian and it would just be like really good PR for her. So there's a fake dating trope. There is an age gap because Mayor is 10 years older than her. She's in her early 20s. He's in his early 30s. And then of course there is, you know, the ASL kind of like connection that she has with Hazel, who is his daughter. And that's the sweetest part. That is the sweetest part. This book is told in 2 timelines. There's the present timeline and then the timeline of when they first met. And it's kind of like building up to, you know, their relationship and like how they have already developed these kind of like funny feelings for each other. So that is what's going on. I'm enjoying it. It's just not super spicy. That's the only thing. And I don't think it's gonna be super spicy until probably the end, just because they are having obviously this like fake dating trope and they've been friends for so long and they're co-workers. So I think like for them, they're treading lightly on this relationship because they don't want to mess anything up, because they're like really good friends. Like they're like besties, okay? And they don't even know they're besties. It's like the kind of besties where like you're just like texting somebody all the time, you're seeing them all the time, you're hanging out with them all the time. You know those like little things about them that like they might not even know about themselves. That's the kind of besties these two are. So anyway, that's the 50%. It's a fun time. I'm having a good time. It's very sweet so far. It's a sweet book. So yeah, that's where I'm at. I will check in with you guys at the end. But yeah, that's my 50% check-in. Okay, cool. See you guys in a little bit.
Get in the car, bitch. We're going to slow.
Wait, do you think they'll do it if I do it too? Okay guys, so first of all, I feel like it has been some days since I last talked to you. We literally went to Noelle's and I left my camera. I left my camera and like my rings that are like my family heirloom rings because I'm crazy. I left those at Noelle's house like a crazy person. So I had this whole like whirlwind adventure of like me going to like go get the camera and to go get the rings because as you guys know, like I still don't have a car right now. So I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna like rent a car and like go get this stuff. Oh my gosh, Sherman, please stop licking me. I was like, okay, I'm gonna go rent a car, I'm gonna go get the stuff from Noelle, and then I'm gonna make a day of it. And then my one roommate was like, oh, let me give you a ride up there. And I was like, no, I don't want to ride. Like, I just want to go get the stuff because I felt so silly leaving the vlogging camera at Noelle's house. So anyway, I was going to make like a whole trip about it. I was going to do a whole vlog. But then the time came and I was just like so stressed out about getting the car and like getting up there and getting back before like the time that before like the end date time or whatever to like drop the car off, that I was literally just like, hey Noelle, bye Noelle, and like came back after I got the camera. So I feel bad because I literally showed up and I was like, Noelle, give me my stuff right now. Now I'm leaving, bye. And she was like, oh, do you want to go and like bookshop or whatever? And I was like, I don't have time for this, but I love you. So that's what happened. That's like, oh, low-key why this took so long. And I'm like, I feel like this vlog may be a little late. I don't know, but in between that, I have been like reading and I wanted to report that I finished Funny Feelings. I finished her. And not the spiciest, okay? I am not gonna lie. I feel like this was a cute time. It was a fun time, but like, do I really remember anything that happened and I just read it? No idea. Sorry, I got sidetracked because Sherman was like trying to get into my lap. But let me go back into Funny Feelings. It'll be interesting to see what the call pile is. I want to say it's a pretty average rating. Like my gut feeling is it's pretty average. It was cute, fun little age gap, but for me, I don't know, it just didn't hit. It didn't go too deep. And the thing is, I feel like it had deep moments. I feel like it had deep themes. It had like deep plot lines. It just didn't deeply hit me. You know what I'm saying? That being said, that's really all I can say about this. It's not anything too crazy, but on a level of spice, since this is like the spicy, supposed to be the spicy month, like on a level of spice, I would put it at almost like a 0.5, like a 0. It's little, what are those things called? Peppers. I feel like I would put it at like a 0 pepper. I'm like, did they even have relations? I don't know. I have no idea. So interesting, but a cute time nonetheless. So in that span, like I finished that book. I started this one, which I only have the cover for right now because the book is like sitting over there on the couch. I'm like over halfway done with The River Enchanted. Let me talk about this book for a minute because what the heck, okay? It's not spicy at all, okay? So like we're already like 0 for 2 on the spice level. I'm really hoping that McKay's book, and I don't even know why I'm saying hoping, like I know McKay's book is gonna be crazy. So we'll talk about that when we get to it. But A River Enchanted, I can see now why all of my friends would say that I would like this book. It's a tale, okay? It's a story. It's told as a story. Does that make sense? It's almost Outlander-ish, like the book, the show, if you guys are into that book, that show. It's that kind of a setting. They've got lairds and they've got fairies, not fae, I was gonna say fae. They don't have fae, not yet anyway, that I know of. They've got fairies and they've got magic, and it's very earthy, like earthy magic. And they don't have like witches obviously, but they have people who like use the magic and like work with the earth and things like that. I'm making it sound super frou-frou, but it's very good. Now, did it take me four times to start this book? 4 times? Yes. 100%. It took me a while to get into this book. Like, not like to get into it as in I had started reading it and then it was like 100 pages in and then finally I was into it. It was like it took me a while to get into the start of this book. Does that make sense? But once I started reading it, I felt very intrigued, very hooked. And I think a lot of that has to do with the audiobook because I started it on physical. Okay. Started it physically and I was like, I don't know if this is doing it. So I basically put it on audio while I was doing my, like when I went up to Noelle's, when I came back like down, when I was here doing laundry, and all today basically. It took me a minute to get used to the narration, but I'm really enjoying it. Like the way that it's being told like a story. I don't know if I'm making any sense. I hope I am. I feel a little frazzled right now. It's just a good time. Like I'm just having a good time. I like stories like this. They have like a big like tale. They've got magic and there are rules to the world. And then there's also like a mystery element happening because if you guys don't know what A River Enchanted is about, essentially this guy goes back to his hometown on this isle where he's got like a laird and he's going back to the laird because the laird has called him home. And the reason why is because these girls have been going missing on the isle. And he is a bard who is like someone that sings, you know, like for the court essentially. So like that is his job. And like he is coming back because he has magic and he is supposedly going to be using that magic to help find the girls. I don't know if that story is going to sell you. Okay, it took me forever to pick up this book, and it's only because of Battle of the Books, because I've wanted to read this book, but I've never picked it up on my own, and that is my fault. I'm recognizing that that is my fault, okay, because I am loving this book. It's so funny because I was talking to Stephanie about it, because she was like, what's your book for this month? I was like, oh, one of them is A River Enchanted, and I know that she's read it, and she was like, oh my god, I think you're really gonna like it, and I was like, we'll see, because at that point I'd started it twice. And I was like, I can't get into this book. I just can't get into it. It's so hard. So yeah, I at first was really rooting for Jack and like loved his POV. And as soon as we got into like Adara, I wasn't really sure about her. I was like, I don't know. And like her and Jack are great and fine. But I think my favorite character right now is Sidra. I just love her resilience and kind of like she's not even like she is quiet, but I don't know, there's just something about her character that I really love. Like she's like, I don't even know the word for this, like the apothecary person of the village, of the town, of the place. I don't know what that's called, but she is it. And I just love her. I love her and I love her relationship with her husband, even though he's like head of the guard and he's kind of like a hard ass. I don't know, I like him too. Opposites attract, I guess. I'm not sure. But I'm really enjoying it and I'm a little over halfway. The mystery is untangling and I'm liking it. I'm liking the twists and turns. Very, I wouldn't say too flowery. I was a little nervous, I think, too, with this book because I thought that it was going to be really flowery language, like very, I don't know how to describe it other than like a slog to get through. Like I thought it was going to be really unbearable. And I like descriptive, you know, books. I like flowery language in some ways, but like sometimes it can drag you down. So I wasn't sure what to expect, but it's like as soon as I actually like opened up the book and sat down with it and read more than like 5 pages, I was hooked at the story, okay? So anyway, this has been a really chaotic check-in, but I wanted to let you guys know where the heck I've been. And it really hasn't been like where I've been, it's been where the camera has been. Like I said, I tried to get some B-roll of that and it didn't pan out. My anxiety was like, no, you think you're a content creator? No. That's where I've been. That's what's been going on. Anyway, at least I've read. That's all I can say. So I think I'm gonna actually finish this today because I'm in like the last legs of this book. I'm hoping that I'm explaining to you guys how much I'm liking it. I'm believing it's a 5-star. That's where it's leaning. I've liked everything about this story. So we'll get into it in the call pile for both of these books. Once I finish that, I believe I'm gonna be starting McKay's book. and I don't know what to expect. All I know is that it is something about Thanksgiving and the family is sleeping together. I don't know. It's chaotic. It's going to be crazy. This is going to be the creme de la creme. Okay, so I just ordered some lunch. I'm going to eat that. I'm going to finish A River Enchanted. If I have more thoughts and things to say other than what I'll say in the cop-out, I'll check in with you guys. But I feel like I'll probably just save it. Other than that, we're going to start McKay's book and we'll see where it takes us. Spice level 1000. I'm guessing. I don't know. Anyway. All right. See you guys in a little bit. Okay, y'all. We are here. What the did I just read? Anyway. So I basically binged Push by Nyla K. I binged Push last night. Oh my God. There's a hummingbird on the hummingbird feeder and it zoomed away. I binged it. And weirdly, I mean, it was psychotic and crazy. Like it did I even tell you guys? I feel like I did. I told you the kind of premise. Essentially, this like girl brings her boyfriend home for Thanksgiving, but then the boyfriend ends up having a relationship with the dad, who has never been like bi-curious, has never been interested in men, but for some reason he suddenly becomes interested in this 20-year-old. And the dad is a young dad. They had their kid when they were 16 and 17. So at this point, because I think she is a sophomore, she's like 18 or 19 years old, something like that. So he is in his mid 30s. Like we'll give him casually 35. So obviously it's like a little age gap relationship. Yeah. I don't know. It's really psychotic. It's honestly crazy. What more can I say about this book? Like, honestly, spicy. Okay, I can say that. Definitely the spiciest book I read this month. You did that. You did that, McKay. You really did that. So there's that. The plot casually, like, this would probably never happen in real life, because essentially our main character like has a relationship with the dad, and yes, there is cheating, like that is the cheating trope, but then there's also a relationship with the mom and things evolve from there. Okay, it just gets crazier and crazier and crazier. So like in the grand scheme of things, like in real life, this would probably never happen. But like honestly, I could see this maybe happening to like some really messed up family. You know what I mean? And like the daughter has no idea. So crazy. Anyway, this is exactly what I thought I was gonna be getting all month. So McKay really did that. Thank you for this psychotic recommendation. I'm now ready to talk about all of these books and to give the cop-out. So let's go ahead and get into that portion of the video. So the first book that we're gonna start off with is Funny Feelings, which is the first book that I read for this vlog. Funny Feelings, I feel like I wanted it to be more than it was. I wanted it to be so much like more impactful, so much like more romantic, so much spicier, and it just didn't really hit like that. For me, I feel like it was like a 3 or a 3.5, but after I did the cop-out, like it's looking like it's gonna be higher than that. So that's interesting to me. Let's get into why I thought the way I thought. Okay, so characters, I gave them an 8 out of 10. I think I was gonna go lower on this because like the characters were whatever. They were like so-so. They were cute together, but like they weren't anything special. But then I realized that the daughter of our main like male love interest, she was so cute and I really liked her, and she is deaf. Like she has to kind of like work through that whole aspect in the book, which I really liked because she had a connection with our main female lead because she also knew ASL, and so like that was cute. I really liked that. And so for that reason, I'm giving the characters an 8. It's probably a little high, but it is what it is, you know? Atmosphere is gonna be a 7.5. Like the atmosphere was fine. Like the comedy setting, it's okay. It's just not my favorite. Like I'm not like super involved in that sphere. You know what I mean? So like whatever, it's a 7.5. The writing, I'm gonna give an 8. It was good, it was fine, but I'm not like over here crying about the really emotional parts, if that makes sense. The plot, I'm giving a 7. I thought it was interesting and original. It's just the execution of it. I don't know if this is making any sense. Hopefully it's making sense to you guys. Intrigue is also going to be a 7. I feel like I was invested in the characters enough to like want to know what was going to happen, because they were pretty much like denying their feelings the whole entire book. But then after the feelings came out, I was just like, the interest just went right down. Logic and relationships is an 8.5. It makes sense that they would fall in love after working together for 10 years, or like however long, 5 years. I can't even remember now. I know they have a 10-year age gap. Was it my favorite? No, but it still gets an 8.5. And then intrigue, I'm putting at a 7. I feel like it was like a 3.5 for intrigue. So all in all, that means that the total for this one is going to be a 7.5 out of 10, which is a 4 stars. It is like right on the cusp. It's like 0.5 away from being a 3.5. So it is what it is. I feel like that might be a little high, and it's probably because I gave the characters an 8 and I double that score because I weigh my characters a little bit more when I do cop out. That's the rating. It's a 4 stars. The next book that I read for this vlog was River Enchanted, which I loved. I had such a good time. The ending, I did want to say, how can a book make me want to cry while also making me so mad? The way that these characters acted, I'm like, come on, this is giving YA trope. Like, why? Why are we doing this? Why are we doing this? I am not a big fan of the miscommunication trope in fantasy books. I don't really like it that much in contemporary romance, but like I'll let them have it because a lot of it is miscommunication. But like when it's in a fantasy book and like the fantasy book has romance, because this is not a fantasy romance, this is a fantasy book with romance, big difference there. But when they have a miscommunication trope in a fantasy book with romance, ooh, y'all, it grinds my gears. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it. Did that reflect in the score? Not at all. But let's get into the cop out. Okay, so the characters in this one are going to be a 9 out of a 10. I told y'all that our main like, 2 characters, like I like them fine, whatever, but Sidra was my girl, okay? Till the very end, Sidra was the one. She had the best character development in this whole entire book, and I just loved how like she's a classically quiet character, but when it really counts, she stands her ground and she tells you what's what. Like Sidra, you're my girl, okay? Atmosphere is gonna be a 9 out of a 10 as well. I love the setting of this. I really love the lore. I loved the magic system, like everything about this world I really, really liked. I liked that using magic made the humans kind of like hurt in some ways. Like there was a cost to the magic. It's just a good concept. Really done really, really well. Writing is going to be a 9.5. I did have a slow start. I told you guys I started the book like 4 times, but once I got into it, we were rolling. Okay, we were rolling. The intrigue, 9.5. Like I could not put it down. I wanted to know what was happening. I needed to know what's going to go on with the characters. Where are the children? What's going on in the House of Commons, okay? The plot in this one is also going to be a 9 out of a 10. I thought the concept was very original. You've got this isle where these people live. There's magic on the southern part, and then in the northern part, they're separated. There's, you know, fighting, drama, children are being taken, what's going on. You also have all these different characters, and I think all of the characters were fleshed out well. It's just done super, super well. I really enjoyed it. Logic and relationships is also going to be a 9.5. I loved all the relationships between all of the characters. It's even funny that like I didn't like our main female lead. Like I didn't like her at first, and then she turned it around. She turned me around, okay? So I really liked her in the end. Overall enjoyment is going to be a 9.5 out of a 10, which leads our entire cop out for this one to be a 9.22 out of 10, which we all know is going to be a 5 stars. 5 stars, baby. And we all knew I was going to like this one. So there you go. Then last but not least, we have Push by Nyla K, which was the original concept of this vlog, of this whole entire thing. So McKay, you get a 10 out of 10 for knowing the assignment. You did it, sweetie. And the spice level in this one, I feel like it was just spice. Like it's 3 peppers. 3 out of 3 chili peppers. Okay, spicy. Characters, it's going to be a 6.5. They would just say things sometimes, and you're just like, why are you such a dude, or like, you know what I mean? Like, why are you feeding into this like male masculinity, like toxic masculinity, like whatever, but it is what it is. Like, we knew what this book was gonna be going into it. The atmosphere is gonna be an 8 out of 10. I weirdly liked the Thanksgiving setting. It's like not anywhere near Thanksgiving, but like it was fun. I don't know. It was a fun time, especially because they had like a dinner like the night before Thanksgiving where like all their friends came. Like, it's weird that the atmosphere was so good in this book, but it was fun. And then there were a few scenes like back at their daughter's college. That was fun too. The writing's a 6.5. Like, I could not give it more than that. You know what I mean? There'd just be some lines where I'd be like, ooh, I don't know. But the plot, I'm giving an 8 out of 10 because I think it is an original concept, and I think it was done like decently well for like what it was. Intrigue is a 7 because at one point it was just like a bunch of spicy scenes, and I was like, okay, what else is there though? You know, like you get 50% in and you're like, all right, we're still doing it. We're still doing it. Logic in relationships is gonna be a 6 out of 10. They're calling each other baby in like page 2, and I'm like, you guys don't even know each other. It's insta-love. Insta-lust? I don't know what you want to call it, but it is what it is, okay? So it's gonna be a 6 out of 10. And then overall enjoyment was around a 3 to 3.5. That's where I put it, okay? I didn't hate it. It's what I wanted from this vlog, so it gets a 6 out of 10. Overall, it's gonna be a 6.94 out of 10, which is a 3.5. That's pretty high for a book like this that has like not really much more going on than the spice. So I think that's a pretty decent score. Based on the numbers, we know that the winner of this round is A River Enchanted. So congratulations, Molly. You officially got a point for Bookstagram, and you won this round. Now, can I say that A River Enchanted and Funny Feelings were spicy literally at all? I told you guys that they were not. So if it's going off of that score, obviously Push would have been the winner, but it's Battle of the Books. We are pitting the caw pile for all of these books together to see what is the best book of this month, and that is A River Enchanted, and it was a really good time. I highly recommend, especially if you guys like that kind of, I don't want to even say lyrical writing, because that's almost what put me off. It's truly just a tale. Like, if you guys enjoy the tale, if you like to be engrossed in the story, then you're gonna like A River Enchanted, especially if you're a fantasy book reader. Like, you'll like that. And it does have a little sprinkle of romance, not anything too crazy. It's not open door at all. So be, you know, aware of that, be prepared. But if that's your cup of tea, then that's your cup of tea. So I do want to say thank you to all of the creators who said yes to this vlog. It wasn't exactly the vlog that I thought it was gonna be, but it's still a lot of fun to read recommendations, and it also takes a lot to give recommendations. Just as a creator myself, like, it always freaks me out when I have to give recommendations because I'm not sure if the person is gonna like it. So I do want to say a huge thank you to all of the creators who gave me recommendation videos, and I also want to ask you guys to please go ahead and follow them if you aren't following them on their respective platforms. They're all great creators and people that I love following, so I think you guys will too. With A River Enchanted being the winner of this round, that means that the current standings are as follows, okay? We have a little bit of an upset, okay? So it's not over yet, okay? We don't have a clear winner yet, but I'm really excited to get into next month's book picks. Obviously, it's gonna be October, so we're gonna get into the spooky season, and I can't wait to share those books with you guys. It's gonna be a fun time. So for now, that's it. That's the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I know it was a little crazy, chaotic, kooky time, but hopefully we get into some fun recs for next month, some really fun creators. I can't wait to share with you guys who I've got for next round, and we'll get closer and closer to the end of this thing. It's so crazy that we're in our last 3 months of Battle of the Books. I can't wait to see who wins. I can't wait to see who wins. So anyway, thank you guys so much for joining me on this journey. I am so happy that you guys are here. Go ahead and give us a like, a comment, you know, subscribe, turn on that notification bell if you want to keep up with our videos and what we've got going on this channel. And as always, thank you so much again. I will see you in the next one. Bye.
Bum bum da 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 bum bum da.